knuckle-dragging Neanderthal, and, to be honest, he hadn't done much to disabuse her of the notion, but it got old sometimes. Aubry started shutting down her computer. "I don't like people." That I did notice. She dropped her gaze, something almost vulnerable in those amber eyes. "No, I mean, like, I have near crippling social anxiety. Put me in the middle of a crowd, and you'll find me curled up into a ball trying to remember that I'm not suffocating to death." Quinn blinked. He had a hard time envisioning a situation where she wouldn't be in full control and delivering barbed commentary, but he knew something about panic attacks. His little sister had them from time to time. But there weren't two women more different than Jenny and the woman sitting next to him. His sister needed a quiet space and calm words to talk her through an anxiety attack, but when he'd read up on it all those years ago, it seemed like each person was different. Some needed a physical link to hold it together, some complete silence, some needed something else altogether. It was purely personal. In order for him to deal with Aubry's potential attacks, he needed to know what was required to bring her down. "So, again, what do you need to do this?" "Nothing you can give me." "And what about work? This is kind of last minute to request time off." "All I need to keep up on my clients' websites is right here." She closed the laptop. "But that's irrelevant for a number of reasons. The first being that I don't like you and you don't like me. And that's fine. It's better than fine. But it means I don't trust you, and you can't do shit for me when it comes to my anxiety if I don't trust you." She had a point, but he couldn't let it go. When she stood, he stood with her. "Aubry, I'm sorry that your sister's wedding is presenting you such an awful conundrum, but I'd be even less helpful at a wedding surrounded by strangers than I would be at Death Con, and that's with me wanting to go to Death Con. I sure as hell don't have any desire to go to this girl's wedding. Why don't you ask one of your lady friends?" That was the problem. He might have lady friends, but he didn't have much in the way of friends who were ladies. To be honest, Jules pretty much summed it up. There was no one trusted was a good word. There was no one he trusted to take with him who wouldn't look too much into the invitation, which would only make a bad situation worse. Jules said I would make a good wall. And she's right. Have you ever seen me walk through a crowded room? Aubry hesitated. "Only at Jules's wedding." "Then you know for a fact I can clear a space in front of me. When I walk, people get out of the way." Another hesitation. She was cracking. "Only because you're so gigantic, they're probably afraid you're going to trample them to death." Yup, he definitely had her interest. He could see it. She must really want to go to this convention if she was actually considering going with him. He took a step back and spread his arms. "So then, let me be your wall, both at the convention and at the wedding. What have you got to lose, except missing out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity?" Deathmatch had driven Aubry out of her goddamn mind. That was the only explanation for her actually toying with the idea of saying yes. Either that, or Jules had rubbed off on her more than she ever could have guessed. Aubry might talk a good game, but the truth was, when it came to pulling off plans, her friend was the one who threw herself into motion and made it happen. It's how she ended up owning her very own cat cafe before she turned 30, and it was how she'd ended up with Adam Meyer, town bad boy. She was the force of nature. Aubry was the one who sat in her safe little corner and kept up an ongoing commentary. What if I took the risk? Just this once. Sure, last time she'd gone out on a limb, her asshole family had chopped the damn tree down, but this wasn't the same situation. Quinn might be an ass, but he was hardly going to throw her under the bus just for the sake of doing it. She hoped. She put her laptop into her bag and faced him. "If I think about doing this, I require clear terms." Tit for tat. His face gave nothing away.